Man, oh man, to be active duty today would mean a lot of things have changed quite a bit. Just read a story, actually saw a video earlier today from the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, that says if you're over the age of 30 and you're a male in these United States military, a part of your mandatory annual testing, which is a thing, you're now going to have to be included to see if you test for low T. Now, low T, apparently, according to the Secretary of War, could make you not as functional. It could it goes against warrior ethos, which is a word that's used a lot nowadays in the department. And if you are low T, you're going to be able to voluntarily, if a treatment plan is developed for you, basically get some hormones injected into you. I guess, a little hormone replacement therapy. You know what I'm talking about? A little gender affirming care. You know what I'm saying? And I guess, testosterone is important for muscle development, bone density, other things as well. And could that make you more an effective warfighter? It could. If you're below the age of 30, you can voluntarily submit to the testing. And I guess if a development plan is come up for you, you can get it as well. I couldn't imagine a 20-year-old needing some testosterone, but man, it's just crazy to me now where we're going when it comes to these United States military. The Germans gave their troops meth during World War II to have them just battle ready and ready to have crazy amounts of energy, allow for them to stay up longer, make them more bold, and maybe even willing to put themselves in situations where they would unalive themselves in situations where they normally wouldn't. And then there's Compound V. Compound V is the mythical, hypothetical, not real thing. It's from comic books. But could you imagine a bunch of US Marines if we did come up with Compound V, they were injected with it and just turned into like super Marines? My concern about this, it's not necessarily a concern for catching something called low T in our troops. The number of troops over the age of 30 is normally leadership. Most folks are joining the military between the ages of 18 and 24. And most people don't make a career out of it. Like for me, I did 8 years. So I joined at the age of 20. I got at the age of 28, right? But if you are that person that's been in 12 years, you're now 30 years old, you joined at 18, and are you in a place to where you're gonna be one of those, unless you're a part of like infantry or you're an arty or mechanic or something like that, it's usually not leadership at that age. You could be an air traffic controller, you can be a flight line mechanic, you can be the person and just checks and makes sure that the MRAP wheels are properly inflated. Are you going to be the one that needs to have an essential amount of low T? I don't know. I guess that this is something that has been decided within the department, but it feels like we're preparing our troops for just war at any given moment. And that's my bigger point, is that at any given moment, we're always ready to rock and roll for some type of war. And that is a little bit concerning. Not because I don't want us to always go to war, but I mean, you see what we're doing with Iran. We just started new strikes today. I say new as in like striking them in the middle of the day. A lot of our strikes in Iran up until this point have been conducted while Iran was asleep. It was nighttime, whatever. We're now hitting them during the daylight, easier to see our damage. I think that there is a high probability that we start to move towards sending, whether they're, I think maybe only special operations, but special operators to take coastline of Iran, to maybe take Karg Island, other islands off the coast, and this becomes an extended campaign. Now, the president said just today that we almost have Iran defeated. They're going to give up soon. I don't know if that's completely just the case because in war, both sides get a vote, both sides get a say. And we intend to hit one of their most fortified and hardest to reach nuclear or nuclear sites, which is Pickaxe Mountain. Now, in March, when we hit the other mountains that contain this enriched uranium, there was not really explicit reports that said we hit Pickaxe Mountain. I wonder, did we? Because Pickaxe Mountain has, I think the facilities are 200 feet below the top of this mountain, too deep for our bunker busters. Even if we were able to precisely hit the exact same spot with our bunker busters, still too deep for those bunker busters to be effective. I'm not even sure if there is a big high probability that we just simply hit Pickaxe Mountain and call it a day. The only way to know if we have thoroughly completed the mission is either have like CIA or some type of intelligence assets on the ground who can go in there and take a look, or to send troops in there. So when I'm hearing stories about possibly giving testosterone treatments to males, coupled with our engaging in higher and higher engagement of these targets in Iran, it leads me to believe that this is not like the middle. This is just like still the beginnings of this war. It could be a long, long fought battle. What do I think about all this? I think that the actual low T part, I'm not necessarily concerned about that per se. I think I'm more concerned about what it really can mean beyond that. I look at stuff big picture and seeing that we could be getting drug into something that's long term and a fight for our country that we may not necessarily know we're about to embark on. We're seeing heavy renovations to the residence of the White House, the east wing of the White House, columns on the White House, something that someone does when they intend to stay there for a while. Do I believe that to be true? Not really. But a lot of people do believe come January 2029, President doesn't intend to get up out of there. And then you see in with the development of our standards for our military leadership, for the first time in over a decade, there will not be a woman that's promoted to a 4-star general or admiral rank for the first time. I think even 3-star. The Secretary of War yanked any promotions that were pending for a female. Why? I don't know. But it does lead me to believe they're encouraging more male leadership, more of this like machismo, more of promoting flying helicopters near the coastline of people that are swimming, flying helicopters near people's houses, and just like this real locker room camaraderie that I don't know we need that right now. What I really need is economic things that help my pockets here at home. All I'm seeing is stuff abroad that I could forecast is going to hurt my pockets. On a personal note, the low T thing, I like the idea of it. I mean, if you're already in the military, I'm thinking outside, I like the idea for a health point. If you're already in the military and they're doing things that are screening you for cancers, they're screening you for health and seeing diabetes stuff. They're seeing if you're in height weight standards. You're taking a look at your BMI. Why not take a look at your hormones as well? I arguably would say that we should also consider, the women, right? Testosterone is important for them, especially in their 20s. But as they get over the age of 30, their development of estrogen and other hormones is important. It keeps them balanced. I mean, it's not the same type of warriors ethos, but to keep them balanced out is something that we might want to do as well. I think that us striking in the middle of the day, the way we're changing the standards for our actual military members and the way we're selecting leadership is a trifecta of things that lead me to believe that these wars are just getting started. Can we be convinced to get into more kinetic activities somewhere before 2029? Yeah, absolutely. We did lose one war hawk, Senator Grinder Graham. He died at 71 of some type of heart complications. But there's still plenty of hawks that can get in the ear of the president, which will cost more dollars as we're expending more of our, military assets, possible blood, sweat, and just stress, which is something I'm not very interested in. Do I think we're going to hear something else that's going to distract us from this sooner than later? Absolutely. Could it be something that could be happening as I'm filming this right now? Yeah, because as I was preparing to film for this, that's when I heard we were starting to hit Iran during the middle of the freaking day. And the fact is that I see this escalating sooner than later. The whole Guardians of the Strait of Hormuz thing, The president wasn't being cute when he said that. He does desire to have more control of different parts of the world, especially if he thinks we should be repaid for having to use our military assets. And does it look like us owning a piece of water, owning a piece of land, and expecting you, country A or country B, to pay us because we're protecting it? Hell yeah. That's something that could be coming. I'm an America First guy. Would most prefer we bring all our assets back to these United States and only engage when it's something that makes immediate sense. I don't know how this makes immediate sense when it comes to what's going on in Iran. A lot of people have tried to tell me, whether in person or in comments, or even when I'm sitting at a coffee bar chilling out, of why this makes sense. And I'm still not seeing it. But what do I know? Are you about to enlist so you can get them low T testing and get yourself some boost in testosterone? Are you suffering male pattern baldness passed to you from your maternal traits? I don't know. Maybe it's something you may want to consider. I myself am 40. I've done my time and I don't intend to cut off my locks. So I'm not a candidate to do this, but maybe you are. Maybe it's something that you think is interesting. Also, do you think that the expansion of the Iran war is just something that's inevitable and we're going to be doing it? Or am I missing something? We're going to be back at peace very, very soon. First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. Everyone else, we'll speak soon.